Hey, Aries, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your November 2024 bonus reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the power of community. Gathering around, which is significant in what we'll be talking about today. We're looking at the November energy, specifically around the 1111 portal, which really allows us to channel and connect to the higher realms. This is a month of great spiritual awakening. This is a big month for connectivity, which is why you have the power of community showing up here. This is a really big time for setting intentions. So we'll look at what you can do to step into the 1111 cosmic energy, not just around that date specifically, but the 11 energy of November. We'll take a look at what do you need to be fully awake for spiritually. What are the intentions that you're sending out into the universe, and how can you best align with those intentions? We'll look at any new downloads that are coming through and how they're coming through for you. And then lastly, Aries, how will this new wave cause a ripple over the coming months into your 2025? All right, so we see the Four of Swords showing up here. We see the Temperance. Okay, and I'm getting a song. I'm not sure who the original singer is. I know that there's many covers of this song. There's a hole in the world tonight. And so some of you may be feeling the impact of division, but also the hope for a new future. And that's why you have the power of community, because this is about a great gathering. This is about bringing things into alignment. And your starting card is 21, which is the world. It is the first breath. It's the beginner's mind. And even though 21 can be the Fool going all the way through a massive cycle in their lives, the Fool is still open to new beginnings. The Fool still trusts in the magic of new beginnings. And I see here that you are embarking upon a new way of doing things. This could be breaking out of an old cycle or an old pattern. You could be responding to life or relationships or finances in a different way than you have in the past. I feel like you are picking up, and there's the wheel, right? The wheel, a turning point here. You're picking up on the suffering that is going on, and you may even have suffered yourself with the Nine of Swords. Now, what can you do to step into the 1111 cosmic energy with this Nine of Swords? This is stepping outside of a comfort zone. Again, trying something in a new way. That's why the Wheel of Fortune is showing up here, because this is how you are receiving downloads, right? This is how you are going to move forward and enter into a new beginning, is by saying, I'm not going to repeat a pattern of the past. So there is a new mindset, a new skill. This could be a new path that you are being guided to move forward on. We're going to get all your cards out here, and then I'm loving your outcome. So bottom of the deck, we do have the Shaman, and this is the Hermit, and this is introspection, enlightenment, soul searching. This reminds me of a recent podcast I was listening to by Brené Brown regarding the lone wolf. And she mentions that with authenticity, we often have to gather our courage and our bravery, and sometimes that sets us apart. Sometimes we are meant to take a path that is very alone, right? Or it's very isolating at times, because we're staying authentic to who we are. And you may have been cast out of a circle, or maybe you have separated from a spouse, or perhaps there was something that took you in a direction where you had to go it alone. Maybe you've been single for quite some time. Maybe you're the only child. Maybe you didn't have the support. But I feel like, as she says, there's a huge difference between loneliness and being alone. And I feel for a lot of you, you're embarking upon a journey that has you stepping outside of a comfort zone. So if you have been perhaps the shaman, and maybe you have been walking a path, right? Like White Snake song, here I go again on my own, right? Going down the only road you've ever known. Perhaps this is a time where you're turning a new leaf. Maybe there are new ways to bring in community or bring in connection around you, because that is also a big part of this 1111 portal, is remembering that you are not separate. And we are living in such a time that is bringing about a great divide. And that, I feel, is part of your waking up. That is part of what you need to be fully aware of spiritually, is that you are not alone. Even if you are taking the alone, quote unquote, alone path, you're not alone while you do so. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you if you are alone, right? And so many times being alone gets looked at as such a shamed energy, but I feel like it's for the brave, right? It really is for the brave. And it means that you have stepped into your own authenticity. And it means that you would rather shine into your own integrity than succumb to someone else's ways of thinking you should live your own life. And I see here you really making a choice with the Two of Pentacles, right? This is about you making a choice to maybe fluctuate and do things a little bit differently, but still staying in alignment with your own integrity, Aries, and authenticity. But perhaps it may be you allowing someone to come into your energy field and make a difference, okay, and help you out in some way. Now, what do you need to be fully awake? Three of Wands. And that's what I mean here. The threes are about foundation. And unless you can balance on your foot like a flamingo, right? One foot for how long, which we can do that, but it's best with two or three, right? It's best when we have something more strong or solid. And I feel like you have learned a lot about your lone wolf path, but I feel like there's a big message of being open to help, or being open to your soul tribe, being open to connectivity, and bringing things together instead of feeling such, a division or feeling outside. And I do get with this Three of Wands here as well. This is about not getting lost in the planning. So what do you need to be fully aware of? Try not to get lost in the planning of things or the hesitation. Sometimes we hesitate for years. You ever say, I really want to write that book? And we start to write the first chapter, or we just start to write, and then we hesitate the next day and the next day, and before you know it, it's 5 years later. Try not to get lost in the hesitation. If something is on your mind, if it is on your heart, then it is meant to be. If you are called to do something at this time, Aries, then it is your calling, right? And if this is a direction that you are wanting to take, but it doesn't feel like you have a strong, solid foundation, then that is what we are setting the intention for, okay? And I do see here, what you are sending out into the universe is actually Temperance, Sagittarian energy. You've been patient. I see that you've learned to control your emotions. You've learned to control your temper or your anger, or you've learned to channel or transmute this energy in a very big way, because the Temperance can be a bit of the underworld. It can be our shadows, right? It can be how we react under pressure, how we react when we are in like a fight or flight circumstance. And it kind of brings out that nature of survival. We want to survive. And I feel like some of you, you've been in the midst of some swine. You see the pig there. And I feel that what this is saying with your intention is you're telling the universe that, for one, you're not going to settle. Kudos to you. Even if that means that you're going to walk a path on your own, you're not going to settle for less than you deserve. And that's a really admirable trait, because I see so often that people get impatient, the opposite of the temperance here. They get impatient. They get out of control within their emotions, and then they go back into that pattern of, I need to stay with someone even if it causes me suffering. I need to stay in that job even if it causes me suffering, because they get impatient and trusting that the universe, has another plan for them. Or they get impatient with the work, because it does take work sometimes to really step out into a new path. Or they don't trust. Right? We don't trust sometimes that this way is going to be better, but this way has to be better than the suffering, right? 9 of Swords is a completion. You've completed this chapter of your life. And I feel like what your higher power is trying to tell you at this time, right? Eunice, maybe Eunice is significant. Universe, spirit guides, your ancestors, your higher power, God, goddess, whatever you call your higher power. I feel like you've went to the depths. You've went to the underworld within the shadows of suffering. And I feel here that Spirit is saying, be fully awake, because you're moving forward. You don't have to stay in this energy. You've learned what you've needed to learn here. This is manifestation. 3 of Wands is saying success is but a move away. Do not hesitate. Don't get lost in the planning. Don't get lost in the what ifs. Don't get lost in the fray. And we're going to be seeing a lot of fray. We're going to be seeing a lot of underworld. We already are, as a whole. And I see here with the temperance, moderate, find balance, ground your energy, contain, self-control, find that time to give yourself tender love and care, and be patient with yourself. Okay. Now, how can you best align with these intentions? Exactly what I just said. 4 of Swords, rest. Something that we struggle with is the belief that things have to take a lot of hard work. And you may be saying, well, Mel, didn't you just say that this is going to take some work? Mentally, yes. But sometimes we feel like physically we have to put a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot into what we want. And I'm not saying that's not the truth, but we can also find new ways to expand, new ways to improve. And we are fully embracing the age of Aquarius. And I feel like there are resources that go above and beyond. So if you do not know something, put yourself in this beginner's mindset, and you have every resource and ability to learn it, right? If you do not like a situation that you are in, then there are 1,000 resources out there that can help you take a new path. And this can be mental resources, physical resources, financial resources, spiritual resources. And I feel like Spirit is saying here with this 4 of Swords as the best way for you to align with these intentions is try to not get stuck in the overthinking, the repetitive mindset where that mind goes on repeat, and it's stuck on repeat, and it just keeps going round and round, and we keep doing the same thing. Put the overthinking to rest. Put the overworking to rest. Don't obsess about this. Recover. If the body is telling you something, if the mind is trying to trick you in some way, Put the mind to ease by dropping into the body and paying attention, because the body is your vessel. The body is your vehicle and will always give you warning signs. Just like your car, right? Your car is going to tell you when it's low on gas. Your car is going to tell you when it needs an oil change. Your car is going to tell you if you're starting to get low tire pressure. So pay attention to what is going on in here, because that's going to give you cues if you're not aware. All right. How are new downloads coming in for you at this time? Well, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is big. You're receiving a lot of messages through the stars, which is interesting. This is destiny and fate, and this is the stars. So some of you, this is really tapping into your astrological placements. Hence, you here watching this Aries reading. You may be diving into your astrology chart. Okay, you could be looking at, different placements that you have. The Wheel of Fortune is also about karma. So some of you could even be diving into perhaps your North Node and your South Node. You may be looking at the past patterns that have played out and how you can do something differently, because you are now the change that you wish to see in the world. And I feel like you're receiving a lot of downloads in how you can embrace the change. But Spirit is saying here, don't backtrack. If you're going to look to the past, look at it in a way where you can grow from it and not repeat the things that have held you back. Use it for the good. Don't use it to destroy and put you back in that same pattern over and over again. Some of you are getting your messages or downloads through your dreams. And because we have all 4 elements here, we have the chalice, which is the cup. We have the sword, the wand, and the coin and pentacle. I feel like this is a resource in spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional ways that are showing up. You're getting a lot of downloads in many different ways. It could be through watching, a tarot video. It could be an aha moment that you have while you're showering. It could be staying hydrated and being able to connect with the element of water for some of you. And for others of you, the sword is using the mind to tap into the collective higher consciousness, right? Instead of succumbing to fear. Okay, the power of community, you're gathering around, and I feel like you're also surrounding yourself with people that inspire you and uplift you. I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, you are the top 5 people that you hang around with, Aries. And this goes for you at any age, right? If you are surrounding yourself with people that are very, very successful in their line of work, or if you're surrounding yourself with very emotionally intelligent people, right? Whoever you're surrounding yourself with, I feel like there's reflection happening here in this community. So be sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, but also learning from the people that challenge you. And that's big, because so often we turn a blind eye to that. We say, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to have anybody that's challenging. I'm just going to cut them out of my life. But if we don't reflect, if we don't learn the mirror aspect, what was being shown to us, then often we tend to maybe attract or repeat the cycle. So if there are challenging people in your life, look and see what they are there to teach you. Is there a part of them that brings out something perhaps in a parent or in someone from the past? Or is it a part of yourself that in an opposite aspect, maybe it's something that you really thrive on. Maybe you are an empath and someone else is a narcissist, right? And maybe there's a lesson around boundaries. So I definitely feel like you're reflecting and you're opening yourself up to discovering new things. And as we roll into 2025, there's the reflection. The Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a beautiful energy around emotional situations. This could be the beginning of a new relationship. It could be, you see this huge salmon and he's holding the cup And so I feel like there is a big opportunity for prosperity, for love, for connectivity, for intuitive insights. And a lot of you, there's something really emotionally satisfying that is showing up for you in 2025. And it's because you've opened yourself to this energy. You've opened your heart to this energy here. This could also be tuning into your spiritual gifts. This can be reflecting upon the past and saying, okay, I know what has caused my suffering. I know what has caused me to perhaps obsess over things or have nightmares. Some of you, this is depression. For others of you, this is a lot of anxiety. This is the monkey mind. It is worst case scenario. And some of you, yeah, maybe you did go through something that was the worst case scenario, but I feel like you're being offered another beginning, even if it isn't exactly what you had thought would play out for you. And I'm getting a message here around your success. Success sometimes we feel is tied to where things are going naturally good for us or what we have going for us. Some people define their success to their career. They define their success to their looks. They define their success to the relationships that they are in. But the problem that we have when we attach success to those external things, they can change. They can be gone. So when we look inward, which is kind of what I see you doing here with the reflection, when we look inward and we really allow ourselves to be authentic and to be vulnerable and to keep the heart open and build that success within ourselves, knowing that we can be authentic without those things, that we can be successful without those external things, that's when we truly evolve. And that's what I see a lot of you doing here is saying, yeah, my success was attached to that job. And now I don't know who I am if I'm not in it. Therefore, that can keep you stuck in a pattern that, replays out. And Spirit is saying, but who are you? Who could you be if you did step out of this pattern? What if this is a part of yourself that you have yet to meet? And this is the most profound part of yourself that you may enjoy more than anything here that you're leaving behind. So let's take a look here. I want to get two more cards for 2025, because we see that there is community around you. There is a gathering. This could be family. This could be legacy. I'm getting 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups vibes. And look at this. I didn't even see that at the bottom. We talk a lot about resourcefulness, financial, physical, spiritual, emotional. We have the horned cactus, and this is about resourcefulness. So also being mindful of where you are getting your resources, and is it true for you? Is it spiritually aligned with you? Because otherwise we could get, touched by that thorn on the horned cactus, and it may not feel good. So if you are in touch with your own intuition and your own spirituality, then you're going to know. All right, let's get one more or two more, however many you want, Spirit, for Aries. A little more into 2025, please. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands, endings bringing in new beginnings, but 2025 is going to be a big one. There's the opposition. Look at that. We have the Force. And I'm getting like the Star Wars, made the Force be with you. And I feel like there is going to be a lot of change. And look at a lot of initiation. You have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. That's also Aries energy. We're going to see a lot of changes. And we're going to see a lot of destruction of old structures, basically, and new beginnings. So I feel like this is a big thing. When you show up in this beginner's mindset and you're able to really reflect and keep that heart open, you've won. And yes, there's going to be opposing forces. There's going to be endings that bring in new beginnings. But ultimately, I feel like this is a turning point with the Wheel of Fortune that is allowing you to live and lead a more authentic, profound life and connect to tribe. All right, I'm just going to take a look and read the beginner's mindset here with card 21. The first breath, a fresh start and renewed curiosity, natural trust, beginner's mind. When the first breath card shows up for you, it is time to leave the old stories and tales behind. You have arrived. Take a deep breath and another. There's the Four of Swords for you. There is nothing else you need to do but take in the new world that is revealing itself around you. Trust your natural curiosity. There is no need to dwell on how difficult the journey has been or how tight the passage to get to where you are now. Just take it all in and experience the awe and wonder of your arrival at this destination. Even if it is a familiar place that you have come to many times before, try to experience it as if it is for the first time, for you are renewed and the old you is no longer your concern. Practice the beginner's mind, not labeling or naming what you see and experience. That situation that was so difficult only a few days ago, just be with it and breathe. You have already gone beyond it. You've overcome and resolved it. Even if no one else realizes this yet, soon enough they will as you move on. Do not squander the power of the first breath, giving the old narrative mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Use it for new beginnings, to animate a world you can play and create in. Do not underestimate the power of your breath and the magic of the word. Wow, that's pretty big for you. That does talk about basically everything in your reading, including the wheel, including the rest card, including the reflection piece, and just allowing yourself to not go back into that suffering. It quite literally says that. You don't have to go back into that. And even if it shows up again, if it's coming back around with this wheel, can you experience it for the first time, right? No longer trapped in that old you. Like it says, that's not your concern because you are moving forward here in this energy. All right, Aries, that is what I have for you. Get ready. 2025 is going to be exciting, and be on the lookout in December. I will put out your 2025 readings. Thank you again so very much for being here and tuning in, Aries. If this was helpful, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much again. Lots of love.